Google when you're authenticating Google things, but I have a couple of things like my hosting site that don't work that way.
Bob, I started the live stream.
See that? I don't use an authenticator. I just have them text me the link, and then on my PC I have what's it called, your phone, and I just look at it, and I can either grab the 6 numbers or I can try to remember them just long enough to type them in, and I'm done. I've not had any problem at all. And it usually says it's good for 10 minutes.
Are you getting any feedback from me now?
No.
It's okay. All right.
No.
Yeah. By the way, I was mentioning earlier that we arrived home in the Twin Cities. Joanne and I live about 7 miles from downtown Minneapolis, where the Derek Chauvin trial is taking place, and about 7 or 8 miles south of Brooklyn Center, where they're having all the problems. And also, I'm just 4 blocks away from my good friend Mike Sell, who's on today, and we haven't even greeted each other yet, even though we're a few blocks apart. But hello, Mike.
Oh, we're getting up there. We got about 9 minutes to go, and we've already got 89 people.
90.
Well, you're faster than I am. I only see 89.
Did anybody get up to watch the flight this morning?
What fight is that?
The Mars flight.
Oh, flight. Yeah.
Right.
I heard it on the radio. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was actually interesting to watch it. You could see it sitting there. Then the next thing you saw it 10 feet high. And then the next thing it was back down, but you didn't actually see it move.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they had the thing speeded up a little bit. It was pretty awesome. I got up at 4 o'clock our time in Colorado. So, dark 30.
I saw a picture of it on Facebook, and then one of my friends had a joke right under it or right above it with the same picture, but with a guy with a shadow of a guy with a camera that was there, making it look like it was staged.
Right.
Well, you know, the very first picture that they sent down was the helicopter shooting down towards the ground and taking a picture of its shadow.
Yeah.
So they must have done it at noontime on Mars.
Yeah, straight down.
That was interesting with the video, because the time lag is incredible.
4 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more than from California to Florida.
Yeah, well, considering the lag we have on Zoom with video sometimes, and we're next to each other practically.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? No.
Yes, Roma, we do.
Oh, how lovely. Sorry, I'm late. I missed the beginning. Apologies.
We don't really start till the top of the hour. This is all just chit chat.
Yeah, well, because you're late, we'll bonus to everybody. Hey, Baxter, I sent you a chat.
Was that a check you said?
A chat.
Oh, okay.
Who the hell's got a check?
I never got a check.
I don't get any checks.
I don't see it. Oh, okay. Is that okay? Now I do. Thank you.
Or chat.
Okay, I'll give you a check. I accept cash as well.
So those of you who are new, we've got about 5 minutes left, and then we'll start the meeting at 9 o'clock, well, at the top of the hour. if anyone has any questions, please make them now, or sort of forever hold your peace, or whatever they say. We'll.
Martha.
Yes,
Martha has,
I have a question. I think it happened during one of the updates on the, I think it was when we were redoing and putting in the Avast. But anyway, I get this pop-up every time, and it says, do you want to allow this app to make changes on your device? And then it has like the LG logo on it. It says B2C UA agent application, verified publisher LG Electronics.
You have an LG TV?
I do not. I know, I've got my,
You have anything that's LG?
I think my cell phone is, but it's just an old flip top. But it's not
It would have to be something that's made by LG that's connecting to the internet.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah, do you think you could have got into NASA and you're talking to the moon?
If you're positive that you have nothing that's LG connecting to the internet, then the answer is reject it, don't allow it. But if you aren't 100% positive and you might have something that's LG, if you say don't allow it, then it's going to get blocked. And then you'll have to go in and actually make changes in order to get it to work. So it's something you'll have to decide. Do I have something or don't I?
The flip cell phone is the only one I have. And when it comes up, and I always said, it's got the choice, yes or no. And I always say no, and it doesn't go away. And then I exit out, and it's still every time I turn.
That's why, exactly. That's why every time when it started, it wants to connect and it can't until you allow it to happen. So you have to make a choice. Do you want it to have access to the internet or not? And if you say no, then it's going to again request it the next time you start your computer, because that phone again wants to connect.
Could be a refrigerator, or a microwave, a dishwasher, or a wash machine.
Yep.
Any number of things.
No, I don't have any appliances now that are LGs. I did in the past, but it's kind of weird how to get rid of it. The other comment, I don't know if it was Roma, was having trouble to get in and sign up on the Tech for Seniors, and my daughter helped me with putting it on the, I guess it's the bar at the top where you can put in certain things you use a lot, like the Tech for Seniors, and I have one for the church live stream, and I have that at the top. So all I have to do is just when I turn the computer on, go to that area and tab it in. So I don't know if you could explain to her how to do that or not.
Yes, please.
Not in 1 minute. We only have 1 minute. We start.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Murray. We got Bob 98. Do you think we'll get 100 before the?
You got a minute left.
We got a minute left, eh? Someone log in a second time so we get
That was me.
Galaxy S20 is saying hello.
It's all right. We have number 100 coming in now.
I wanted to say hello, and also, if I go off screen, it's not intentional, but it's been raining here a lot, and the computer's coming in and out.
All right. Thank you.
I'm in Des Moines, Iowa, and we were greeted this morning.
It is now the top of the hour.
It is. It's now 9 o'clock, so we will start the meeting. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to mute all And then we'll share the screen. And we'll share it for sound. Tech for Seniors Live. This is a show where Ron, Hewie, and Bob sit around and have coffee.
All right, wrong show. Wrong show.
Oh,
Wrong
oops,
show.
oops. Oh, I'm sorry. How embarrassing. How embarrassing. Here, let me do it again. Just a minute now. Tech for Seniors Live. It is the...
Not live, not live.
No, Tech for Seniors. Tech for... Let me do it right again. Tech for Seniors. It is April the 19th. Welcome, everyone. Phew, sorry about that. Well, it's just we're having so much fun with our Thursday show that I just wanted to, I got confused, right? You get old, you get confused. Well, anyway, welcome, everyone. Welcome to the streaming fellas. They're over, all our group over on the streaming side of things. And welcome to everybody who was at our Zoom meeting. Thanks so much for coming. We do appreciate it. Thank you. Now to introduce our show today. Hewie, where's Hewie? Here, there you are, Hewie.
I'm here.
How the heck have you been doing this week? Hey, we had a pretty good Chromebook meeting last Thursday, eh?
We certainly did, and we had a good Tech for Senior Live show too. It was good.
Yes, we did. Well, it was a great. It's a lot of fun. And what did you tell me? There was 2,000 people watched.
Let me just quickly show you here.
What? How many people watched it? My gosh.
This is the one 2 weeks ago. There's 2.1 thousand views, 2,100 views for our first one, which was 2 weeks ago.
I guess people just like to have coffee with us, eh?
I guess, or we put them to sleep. They use us to go to sleep.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe it's Bob's magnetic personality. I don't know. Anyway, we had a good time, and that was great. And Bob, you are in Texas,
where everything is bigger and everything is faster except internet access. I didn't say that.
You know, I think I've told everyone this before, but Gail and I lived in a full-time in a motorhome or in a fifth wheel for two years, and we drove around, and part of our travels through the United States, we went to Texas, of course, and we stayed in a place just north of Corpus Christi called Rockport. And it was the most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. The Rockport reminded me of Comox, where we are here, and we always thought that if we wanted to winter in down in the States, we would go to Rockport. But then we sort of, for a variety of reasons, ended up in Mesa. That's where we did. But what a beautiful spot Rockport was. And Ray, how are you doing?
Doing well this morning. A little bit chilly here. It's in the low 50s, and that's actually nice and refreshing. And my presentation today is actually, I've been trying to convince Dewey to go to and from Minnesota on a different route. So I'm going to show him today a reason why he might take the route I'm suggesting.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. And of course, Dewey, you're home now.
We are back in Golden Valley, Minnesota, at our little home where we have the fireplace going because it's darn cold today. Anyway, so good to be here.
You're good to be home, eh?
Right.
You had a safe drive. Hi, Joanne.
Hey, safe drive.
Safe drive. Good. Excellent. Good. Well, welcome everyone, and welcome to Tech for Seniors. We have an action-packed show, as we do every week for you. I wanted just to go over one little thing before we start the show today. And I'm going to, let me just see if I can do this now. I'm going to share my screen. And we will put it on screen 1. And I'm going to bring this up here. I'm going to bring here. I just wanted to go over with everyone the newsletter that we send out. And I wanted to just show you, just to go over with everyone what's in the newsletter. Now, the first thing you'll see when you get the newsletter is you'll see that we send 2 newsletters out. One is on Tuesday and one is on Saturday. Now, it depends on which one you get. But if the first thing is you'll see a little black box at the top here. This is the Saturday newsletter I just sent out. And you'll see if you missed the Chromebook last week, learning Chromebooks, then you can replay it at the link. And unfortunately, I forgot to highlight that link, but there is a link there. And so if you want, usually in this black box at the top is stuff that is really just timely that you might want to use right away. And then if you come down, you'll actually click here to join our Zoom meeting. This is the link embedded in there. So you just have to, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat today. If you click this, you'll join our Zoom meeting. So that is the link to the Zoom meeting. Again, we have put a button in here for the past shows, so you don't actually have to go and find them. If you just click on this blue button, then that will be a link to the past shows. Now, when we talk about live stream, if you wanted to watch the show on Thursday, which is our Tech for Senior live show, we do that in streaming it from our channel. And you can just click on this link, this great big link here, and that will take you to the our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to watch the show. And we broadcast that on Thursday as well. So you just have to click this link, and that will take you right to the right to our YouTube channel. So I've made all these links for you, which is great. And then this is our Facebook page. Those of you who want to watch us on Facebook, the link is right here. And also, for those of you who don't know, we are posting, like, our Facebook page is really going crazy with the number of people watching it. And Hewie, Bob, and I post articles all day long on current news topics. So if you want to be timely and right on top of things, then this is where you want to be. Now, here's where the meeting info is. So this is where, when you're trying to find the meeting and you can't remember in the morning what the button to hit and so on and so forth, this is where all your meeting info is. And if you look down here and look closely, you'll see, to see all the season 1 and recent episodes, click this link. When you click that link, it'll bring up all the past issues of Tech for Seniors. Now, if you just bookmark that, you never have to do that again, because you just go to the bookmark, click the link, and they'll always be there. It gets updated automatically. And so that's the link right there. It's season 1. And other shows that Tech for Senior produces are all in the second link. And as links occur, and as life gets more complicated, we'll put more links in there for you, so it's easier for you to find what you want. And we were talking earlier about the we have the shows all indexed now, so we're working on getting that organized. We'll put the link in there so you'll be able to find things with the index. And then as you come down here, you'll see this is Hewie and I learning Chromebooks. This is the link here you'll see on the YouTube video on our last show. And if you want to sign up, that's here. And Hewie always has some words of wisdom for us. On Saturday, this is his Hugh's Corner. And then Dewey's Tech Talk now is online. So we have that as a standalone show for you if you want to watch any of Dewey's shows. They're now available online. You just click this button here and you can listen to Dewey every hour. And then again, this is my show. This is my the one I did on Chromebooks, but we change these each week. So the newsletter is really not, I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is that the newsletter is not just a bunch of old articles that we're trying to give you. These are pertinent links to make your life better, and so you can get around and see some of the stuff that we're doing. and there's a little bit of news stuff in there. So when we call it a newsletter, it's not really a newsletter. So you should subscribe to it, but keep in touch with us because we'll put all those links there for you. We purposely don't put those links on our webpage because it's just too visible for everybody to see. So we figure people who get the newsletter are people who are really interested in what we do. So I'd encourage you, if you haven't signed up for that, to do so. All right, we should be getting going now. I'm going to be playing Bob, since Bob sort of got his right arm cut off. I'll be playing his segment this morning. So let me just come back here, and we'll just share this. And we'll bring this up here.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending April 16th, 2021. Facebook expands its oversight board scope. Facebook made an announcement this week that it had expanded the scope of its oversight board to include appeals against content that has been left up to either Instagram or Facebook after someone had reported it. Previously, the Oversight Board would only review appeals against content that had been taken down. The new purview grants users the right to file an appeal against either decision. Removing content is a delicate matter, commented Avast security evangelist Louis Carones. At the end of the day, it could be considered censorship of published information. While there are certain topics that are clear, like breaking the law or the platform's code of conduct, others are more ambiguous. Comprised of 40 diverse members from around the world, the Oversight Board comes into play only after Facebook's regular content review process has made a judgment on reported content. Because Facebook and Instagram receive so many requests for appeals, after such a judgment, the Oversight Board handpicks which are of critical importance to public discourse and or raise important questions about Facebook's policies. Is this what caused Facebook banning New York Post's articles? April Patch Tuesday updates focus on Exchange server attacks. According to a Microsoft Security Response Center post, this month's security updates focus primarily on dealing with the series of recent attacks that have affected Exchange server everywhere. This month's release includes several critical vulnerabilities that Microsoft recommend you prioritize, including the updates to protect against new vulnerabilities in on-premise Exchange servers. These new vulnerabilities were reported by a security partner through standard coordinated vulnerability disclosure and found internally by Microsoft. Because of this threat and the severity of the CVEs associated with it, Microsoft advises that, given recent adversary focus on Exchange, users install the update as soon as possible to ensure they remain protected. One thing they did mention, though, is that the customers using Exchange online are already protected and don't need to take any action, since the web app is always the latest version. Clubhouse says data breach was not a breach. After 1.3 million Clubhouse user records showed up in an SQL database on a popular hacker forum, the new and trending social media platform was thought by many to have suffered a data breach. But a tweet from Clubhouse informed users there was no breach nor hack. The data was simply public information available to anyone. It included users' ID, names, photo, URLs, usernames, Twitter handles, Instagram handles, numbers of followers, numbers of account followed, account creation dates, and invited by user profile names. While the information does not include passwords or credit card numbers, it has sparked closer scrutiny at the security and privacy measures, or lack thereof, used by Clubhouse. Read more on Cyber News. Cyberstalkers aided by WhatsApp online status. Even as Apple and Google endeavor to remove all stalkerware apps from their stores, cyberstalkers can still find tools to track their victims, particularly with apps that log WhatsApp online statuses. A new blog post by the developers of the Traced app delves into the WhatsApp privacy loophole that enables stalkers to observe their victims' WhatsApp's behaviors through legitimate apps offering the service under the guise of tracking one's minor children. These apps live on the stalker's phones, which obviates the need to surreptitiously install anything on the victim's phones. Someone of the WhatsApp status tracing apps even allow users to compare two different WhatsApp accounts, giving them visibility as to whether two users were on at the same time, perhaps talking with each other. Anyone who believes they may be being stalked can seek help from the Coalition Against Stalkerware. Scammers target funerals of COVID-19 victims. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission issued an alert this week that scammers are taking advantage of a new Federal Emergency Management Agency program that offers financial assistance of up to $9,000 to help pay for the funerals of victims of COVID-19. The program just started up this week, and phishing emails are already circulating, posing as the government's offering to get people registered for assistance. If you receive one of these emails, remember that the real FEMA will not contact you unless you've applied for assistance. FEMA will not ask you to pay anything upfront to receive the financial help, and it will not ask you for your Social Security, bank account, or credit card numbers. FBI hacks unsuspecting users to remove backdoors. The FBI has obtained court approval from the Southern District of Texas to hack into hundreds of unsuspecting users' computers in order to remove a vulnerability backdoor that has been placed there by cyber attacks through January and February 2021. The attacks targeted thousands of Microsoft Exchange servers in the U.S., inserting a web shell in their systems that would allow for future access and hacks. The attacks were publicized and patched in March, but the FBI notified that several hundred U.S. computers did not remove the web shell. Gaining court authorization, the FBI hacked into the vulnerable systems, usually without the owner's knowledge, and programmed the web shell to delete themselves. Read more on The Verge. New Microsoft Exchange patches that SMBs should apply immediately. Even if you need to apply patches last month, you'll need to do some again this month. Last month, we told you about a series of critical vulnerabilities in Microsoft Exchange that were under attack. We urged small and medium-sized businesses to take immediate action to patch, as well as determine if Exchange systems might have been compromised. This month, Microsoft has released a new series of patches for a new, different set of critical vulnerabilities affecting Exchange. The bad news is that if you need to apply patches last month, you'll need to do so again this month. The good news, right now at least, is that these vulnerabilities are not under attack. However, Microsoft says clearly in their security advisory, we have not seen the vulnerabilities used in attacks against our customers. However, given the recent advisory focus on Exchange, we recommend customers install the updates as soon as possible to ensure they remain protected from these and other threats. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That's great. We're going to
Thank you, Ray.
We're going to move right into Dewey's segment now, and I don't have to reshare my computer, so we'll just move right into Dewey's segment.
Good morning, friends. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is ATSC 3.0, also known as Next Gen TV. It's part 2. I did part 1 last week, and if you have a special interest in this new TV standard that's coming for broadcast TV, you can go back and look at last week's show. Anyway, going on, last Monday I introduced our TFS followers to a new, much higher quality over-the-air broadcast TV, or antenna TV, standard that began its slow rollout more than a year ago and may take another 5 or more years to be fully implemented in the US. This new OTA standard, broadcast standard, is officially known as ATSC 3.0. It's promoted by the ATSC, which is the Advanced TV Systems Committee, under the name of Next Gen TV. By the way, this committee is worldwide, not only in the US. While more stations are broadcasting in 3.0 now than a year ago, the vast majority are still in an experimental phase, and the major TV networks haven't yet committed to certain features such as 4K and on-demand video. Compatible hardware also remains expensive and scarce. Dave Arland, a spokesman for the ATSC standards body, recently acknowledged that 3.0 Next Gen TV is still in its very, very early days as per the standards, but it is going rapidly. Next Gen TV promises stunning video with brilliant colors, sharper images, and deeper contrast that will make you feel like you're really there, and movie theater quality sound lets you hear every voice clearly. It's also capable of 4K and HDR picture resolutions and Dolby Atmos and DTS:X audio. If you're into sound, you'll know what that is. 3.0 is the first overhaul to the ATSC standard for over-the-air TV since the group first introduced 1.0 in 1996. 1.0 was the technology that finally took hold in June 2009, ushering in the switch from analog to digital TV that topped out at 1080p high-definition resolution. Next Gen TV is a whole new ballgame that's expected to significantly revive interest in broadcast TV. And here's the reason. Next Gen TV is antenna TV that is supplemented by and enhanced with internet content to get the most out of live sports, news, live events, and more. It's important that you realize it's both internet and antenna. Yet we need to stay grounded in the realization that in both the broadcast TV and internet sides of Next Gen TV, there's still a host of technologies that need to be developed and implemented by networks and broadcasters to make it all happen. One example is a feature that will enable local broadcast TV stations to personalize their shows with interactive features called haptics. So what is haptics? Haptics is digitally created touch feedback to create touch sensations primarily accessed on a mobile device. While watching Next Gen TV, viewers can interact with their smartphone or other device's touchscreen, like when typing on their virtual keyboard. As a part of 3.0 Next Gen TV, haptics brings new potential for enhanced mobile viewing experiences. For example, Ed and his wife, Mary, are both huge TV fans. At the start of the game, their TV notifies them that the game is also available through a dedicated app on their smartphones with customizable haptic options. Ed and Mary both launched the app and proceed to select their haptic experiences. Ed loves the haptic-enabled game actions, hits on the quarterback, sacks, tackles, interceptions, and so forth. Mary likes haptics for major game events, touchdowns, field goals, and so forth, and as their TV screen and their mobile devices synchronously provides the game. Haptics provide an additional layer of entertainment and sensory immersion that goes beyond traditional viewing. As Next Gen TV is rolled out in various markets in the US and worldwide, the demand for leveraging its full capabilities is bound to increase. Immersion.com is one of the companies working with broadcasters to integrate haptics RP, RP stands for recommended practices, and enable mobile devices to take advantage of the haptic enabled content screen. Our present 1.0 broadcast system is slated to remain in place for 5 years. This means that 3.0 programming must be essentially the same, except for programming features that are based on the enhanced capabilities of 3.0. Most pre-2021 TVs will either need an external 3.0 tuner or be replaced with TVs that have both the 3.0 and backwards compatible 1.0 tuner. Currently, LG, Samsung, and Sony have a good selection of 4K and 8K TVs that are so equipped. Regarding 4K TVs, as larger size TVs become popular, the old 1080p 1K resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels simply became inadequate in terms of clarity. It's because of the large screens. 4K TVs restore clarity by doubling the resolution of 1080p, which means they quadruple the number of pixels. 8K TV doubles those numbers again to a resolution of 7680 by 4320. Wow. Virtually every TV 50 inches or larger bought today has 4K resolution, and many smaller sets are 4K as well. Now, as screen sizes, which are diagonally measured, increase to 90 inches and beyond, 8K resolution TVs have become more important to provide top quality clarity. Next-gen TV standards are expected to embrace this new higher 8K resolution TV as more and more people purchase them. If you're wondering how Lowcast, the nearly free streaming service that provides over-the-air broadcast channels to more than 30 U.S. urban market areas, fits into the next-gen TV picture, I'm not able to really envision any problems. For example, Lowcast covers the greater Phoenix TV market area. There are already a dozen Phoenix, Arizona TV broadcasters who have launched or are launching next-gen TV in that market area, market-wide, as a model for the TV industry. It's the Phoenix model. Here's a graphic listing of these stations. You have Channel 5 CBS, the Channel 8 series, public TV, Fox Fox Network Channel 10, and NBC, the Peacock on 12, Univision Arizona, which I don't watch much, ABC 15, and then there's an extra Fox Network channel on channel 45, and finally the CW 61. By the way, CW doesn't stand for Country and Western Music. It stands for an affiliation between CBS and Warner Brothers. This has got me to think. We watch these channels on a 4K TV at our place in Silveridge and Mesa. If the price of outboard TV 3.0 tuners starts dropping in the next year, perhaps I'll buy one to enjoy the higher quality picture of these Phoenix channels, especially my favorite KAET Arizona Public TV. Then I'll bring it to our suburban Twin Cities, Minnesota home in the spring with the expectation that TPT, that's Twin Cities Public Television, and other local Twin Cities stations will soon be up and running with their next-gen 4K broadcasts. Sounds like a plan. By the way, near-term 3.0 coverage goal for the U.S. is 62 markets that reach an estimated 75% of the country's population. As of March 2021, Next-Gen TV was on the air in 25 U.S. markets, with another 4 markets waiting for FCC approval of their applications. Standalone tuner boxes that you can connect to any TV will soon be on the market, with one already available, the HD Home Run Connect 4K. It's a $200 network model with an antenna input that connects to your router, not to your TV, but your router. Perhaps you've wondered, since Next-Gen TV uses the internet to provide extraordinary audio and other special enhancements, must you always be internet connected when watching the new Next-Gen TV? Well, the answer is no. Using just your antenna and a 3.0 enabled TV, you'll be able to watch your local next-gen TV stations broadcast with the new 3.0 standard. However, you'll miss out on the highly enhanced audio effects that will begin to roll in. This is my presentation for today, and I'm gonna stick with it. I hope. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
Thank you, Dewey.
You're welcome.
I'm going to stay connected, and we'll just continue on with my segment now, which is the Oculus part 2.
Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. Virtual Reality for Seniors, Part 2, the hardware. Let's have a look. Now, you know the routine. If you like this video, please click the like, and I would sure appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. It really helps us, and it helps other people wanting to see these videos. Thanks again. Let's get on with the show. Now, if you go to Best Buy and you want to buy a virtual reality machine, you'll have 3 choices. And these are the 3 choices we're going to talk about today, starting with the PlayStation. This is Sony's PlayStation VR. This is a very popular device. It's $349 at Best Buy. Now, the only problem is that you have to have a PlayStation to be able to use this. This is just for the headset. Now, I'm not sure I know a lot of seniors that use the Sony PlayStation, but it is extremely popular. Sony's entry level into the market is the lowest powered of these 3. But the PlayStation has a big advantage over the Quest 2 and Vive. Because it's tethered to the PlayStation gaming system, there is an enormous pre-existing user base of tens of millions of gamers, many of whom are eager to try their hands at virtual reality. Because of the user database that the PS4 had, Sony's customers didn't have to purchase or upgrade computer hardware to make the PlayStation virtual reality headset the most affordable of the high-end HMDs, or head-mounted displays. As such, the PlayStation virtual reality is the best-selling virtual reality headset on the market, moving over 4 million units since its initial release, and showing that if nothing else, VR gaming is here to stay. So this is, for sure, if you do have a PlayStation, this is a very easy way to get into virtual reality, with the software and hardware being on the PlayStation 5. Again, these are the prices at Best Buy. You'll see that the headset is $349 and the PlayStation is just under $500, which makes it just under $900 for the combination headset and PlayStation. All right, let's talk about the HTC Vive. Here is an example of the Vive Cosmo Elite. This is different than the Oculus Quest in that it has 2 external components. You'll see those 2 boxes by the headset and 2 controllers. Now, the HTC Vive has been one of the best-selling virtual reality headsets on the market since its consumer release back in 2018. And the Vive has been locked in fierce competition with the Oculus Quest since its release. So the 2 are sort of battling it out, as both headsets are aimed at the top end of the virtual reality market. But I will tell you that the HTC Vive distinguishes itself on a couple of issues. The first is the screen resolution is probably a bit better than the Oculus, as well as the speed. So if you look at the top gamers who are really into virtual reality, they are tending to purchase the HTC Vive or the Cosmos Elite as their choice. But it distinguishes itself quite a bit from the Oculus on 2 issues. The first is price. You'll see that you'll see the two. This is a Best Buy prices, and you can buy the Vive Cosmos as a package for around $700 US. If you want just the headset, then it's just under $600. The problem is this is not a standalone unit. You have to tether this to a PC. So this is, and that's the second big distinguisher from the Oculus. The Oculus is a standalone computer. You do not need to connect it, but you do need to connect it. The HTC Vive, you do need to connect to a computer, and it works through the computer. So you need a gaming computer in addition to the hardware that I've just discussed. All right, this is the Oculus Quest 2. This is the one that I own, and you'll see me up in the left-hand corner of the screen. You'll see that it comes with a headset and 2 hand controllers, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. This is what you'll find in the box. You'll find on the left-hand side, you'll see that there are the 2 controllers, and you'll see the headset along with a charging cable. When you take it out of the box on the right-hand side, you'll see that there is a glass protector, which we'll talk about in a minute, the 2 controllers, and the head-mounted display. Now, there are 2 versions of the Oculus Quest. When you go to Best Buy to buy this, you'll find that there is one for $299 and one for $399. Now, this is the deal of a lifetime because these are standalone computers. You do not need a PC to run this. You don't need to connect it to your PC. You can do this all by initiating it through a cell phone if you want. And because it's heavily subsidized by Facebook, you'll find that it is extremely cheap. So when I say that you're going to buy a unit for $299, yes, that is it. These are standalone units. You'll be able to do all the virtual reality you want. It includes the software, the charging cables, and the 2 controllers, all for $299. And when you go to Best Buy, you're going to see that there are 2 versions. There's a version for $299 and $399. Let me say that these are exactly the same machines. They have the same processor in them. Everything about these 2 devices is the same, except for how much memory is in there. And the $299 one has 64 gigabytes of memory. The $399 one has 256 gigabytes of memory. So what's the difference? Well, it depends on how much memory you're going to need to play the games or the applications that you want. Let me tell you that I have the one for $299 or 64 gigabytes. It's perfectly adequate for the amount of applications that I want to play. So I don't really think, unless you have a lot of experience with VR and plan on putting a tremendous amount of games on there, I don't think that to spend the extra $100 is really worthwhile initially when you start. One important feature is you cannot upgrade the memory on these. So what you got is what you got. So if you do think you might want more memory, then spend the extra $100 and get the $399 version. The first question that I often get asked is, what if you wear glasses? I wear glasses. How do these headsets work with glasses? Well, there are really 2 types of people that wear glasses. Those are who are farsighted or short-sighted, and these individuals usually have had glasses all their lives. Then there's people like myself who have presbyopia. This is where you just need reading glasses as you get older because a lot of things start to wear out, right? So those of you who have presbyopia, such as myself, I didn't find that I needed my glasses in the virtual reality experience. So you may want to try it without glasses. There is a glass protector so that your glasses can't actually touch the lens, and you'll see that in the top right-hand corner. So if you do require, if you're short-sighted or far-sighted, or you find that you do need virtual reality, your glasses in the headset, you can indeed wear them. In fact, the lenses, which you'll see on the bottom right, can actually be taken out, and your optometrist can actually grind the lenses to fit your refraction. And some people do this. So glasses are really not an obstacle to virtual reality. Now, I often get asked, what about hearing aids? Well, part of the immersive experience of virtual reality is, of course, being able to hear the stereo sound. And you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see that there's two speakers, one on each side. You'll hear them just by your ear there, and you will see them on the as part of the strap. It's very good sound. I have never had a problem with it. It was really pretty darn good. However, if you want more, or you're having trouble with hearing, then you're able to actually connect a headset through an audio output jack, as you'll see on the right-hand side. And this is a headset that is being plugged in and is used in addition to the speakers. There is no Bluetooth connection to earbuds and other devices like that. So this is a plug-in device that would be plugging in an existing headset. Now, in addition to purchasing your Oculus Quest, there's always a lot of questions about aftermarket devices that you can add to your existing headset. One of the big discussions that you'll have is the strap that comes with the Oculus Quest. As you'll see in this picture here, the Oculus Quest comes with the front-mounted headset, and then the strap goes over top of your head and connects at the back. This is like a Velcro strap that really works fine. You will find, though, that the headset is a little bit heavier in the front, and it doesn't quite balance on your head. So there is a lot of aftermarket devices made, and Oculus actually has an Oculus Quest 2 strap, which is it's a fixed piece of plastic, I guess, that comes around the side, and you have actually a device to turn at the back of your head that can tighten or loosen the strap up. So instead of having a floppy Velcro thing, you have sort of more of a permanent mounted device, and you can control how tight you want it by simply dialing the circle at the back. I did purchase this. I like it. I think it's fine. And it was $49. And this is available at Best Buy, or there are a lot of other companies that make devices like this to add on to your Oculus Quest. Now, the Oculus Quest 2 is a clear winner. It is heavily subsidized at $299. It is a standalone device. You don't need any other equipment to have a great virtual reality experience. You can tether it to your PC and play games like Flight Simulator, and all you'll need is a cable of about $30 to connect it. And this week they announced a major update to the Oculus Quest software that's even going to let you do this all through a wireless connection. So lots of new things coming as well. Now, my advice is this: give it a try, and if you get hooked on virtual reality, that's great. If it's not for you, give it to your grandchildren, because you will be known as the greatest grandparents ever. You know, all those sweaters you knit them and all those great dinners you bought them, they'll never remember that, but they will remember the day you gave them an Oculus Quest. Stay tuned to part 3, and we're going to talk about the software that's available and how you might use it as a senior with virtual reality. Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors.
All right, Hewie, are you ready?
I'm never ready.
The Starlink Report.
This is
The Starlink Report.
the Starlink Report for April 19th, 2021. I'm Hewie Poplock. First, let's do a recap. SpaceX is building an expansive satellite internet network in space called Starlink. The aerospace company launched its first batch of Starlink satellites into orbit May 2019. Now it has over 1,200 working satellites prepped for the service. A subscription to the beta is currently $99 a month. It costs a further $499 for the Starlink kit, which includes a mounting tripod, a Wi-Fi router, and a terminal to connect to the satellites. The company recently won an $885 million federal subsidy in December to expand Starlink. Starlink was initially operated in parts of northern US, southern Canada, and most recently in the UK. In February, Starlink began opening up pre-orders to other parts of the world. Here's how you sign up. And now the latest Starlink news. In December, SpaceX connected to Peak Anjicum First Nation, a remote 3,000-person indigenous community in northwestern Ontario, to Starlink. Before the internet service, Peak Anjicum couldn't offer higher education or health care and struggled with high suicide rates. Now they're able to access everything. Dave Brown, CEO of FSET, the company that linked up SpaceX and Pinkangcom, said in an interview with the Insider, "We took a community that was one of the most technology disadvantaged anywhere in the world. They now have become one of the most technology advanced, yet are still remote, living where they are and not having to move." 60 satellites were launched on April 7th. The most recent launch before this one happened on March 24th, with prior flights on March 14th, March 11th, and March 4th. That pace intentionally fast, since SpaceX has said it aims to launch a total of 1,500 Starlink satellites over the course of the calendar year. On April 28th, a SpaceX Falcon rocket will launch the 25th batch of approximately 60 satellites for SpaceX's Starlink broadband network, a mission designated Starlink version 1.0 L24. In total, SpaceX has now launched 1,443 satellites for its Starlink constellation. SpaceX recently signed a new agreement with NASA that outlines how the two organizations will avoid close approach or collision events between their respective spacecraft. And SpaceX President Glenn Shotwell said on Tuesday that the aerospace company has reduced the cost of each Starlink terminal from $3,000 to $1,500 each. Starlink customers have to pay $499 for the kit, which includes the user terminal, also known as dish sheet, indicating that SpaceX is covering the remaining cost of $1,000 for each one it produces. The company also just rolled out a new version that saved about $200 off the cost and is expecting the price of each terminal to reduce to the few $100 range within the next year or two, according to Shotwell. Here's what it looks like. What early users of SpaceX's Starlink satellite internet think about the service, the speed, and more. Tech for Seniors regular Greg F. has been getting download speeds from 28 megabits per second to over 200, and upload speeds of around 11 megabits per second. That's his antenna on top of his roof. To get real-life first impressions of the service, CNBC spoke to more than 50 people who have been using Starlink. Those surveyed included households in Canada and 13 U.S. states. The majority of these Starlink users are in rural or remote areas, such as farmland or wilderness, with limited access to terrestrial broadband options, and a few with no access altogether. This is a quote: "I expect to keep the service long term," a user in Montana told CNBC. The price of the beta for the service is more reasonable than any other option we have, and those are worse in performance. I will keep Starlink as long as it's the only broadband option available to me. Most users found the service's monthly price of $99 to be fair, and oftentimes a discount to other satellite broadband services and terrestrial options, especially given the average speed of Starlink's service. SpaceX President Gwen Shotwell last week said the company does not plan to add tiered pricing to customers, emphasizing that it wants to try to keep it as simple as possible and transparent as possible. Barring a massive hailstorm, I don't see much hurting this thing at all, one user said. The SpaceX made sure to design the Starlight satellite dish to work in wintry and wet climates by building a heater into the dish itself. As a result, the dish can melt away any ice around it. Another quote, the hardest part was getting up on the roof, mounting the dish and running the wire from outside to the inside of the house, a Colorado user said. Obstructions to the antenna's view of the sky and therefore connection to overhead satellites was the most frequent issue for users installing the dish. A mobile application for Starlink users includes an augmented reality feature to check for obstructions and help find the right place to install the antenna. A quote, my trees are really tall and I underestimated the need for the Starlink's obstruction detecting app to really show zero trees, a user in Oregon said. The installation process and the apparent lacking of grounding for lightning in the equipment was a concern for a California user. Those of us in Florida will be concerned about that as well, as we are the lightning capital of the world. CEO Elon Musk confirmed the news on Twitter Thursday, quoting, Starlink should be fully mobile later this year, so you can move it anywhere or use it on an RV or a truck in motion, he said. We need a few more satellite launches to achieve complete coverage and some key software upgrades, Musk added in his tweet. Musk also tweeted that Starlink would probably exit its beta this summer. Musk also tweeted Friday that Starlink service uptime, bandwidth, and latency are improving rapidly. In February, Musk commented that Starlink internet speeds would double and latency would drop by the end of 2021. Starlink subscribers were getting faster internet than SpaceX said they should expect. Even in the freezing temperatures, high winds, and snow, Starlink has hit speeds of 175 megabits per second, users told Insider. To repeat, users also emphasized a key point that SpaceX itself has said, which is that the service is a boon for those in rural areas, but not a replacement for the existing internet service of people in cities. On April 25th, a Russian Soyuz rocket will launch 36 satellites into orbit for OneWeb, which is developing a constellation of hundreds of satellites in low Earth orbit for low latency broadband communications. This is a competitor to Starlink. And then again in June, a Russian Soyuz rocket will launch another 36 satellites into orbit for OneWeb. That takes care of our Starlink report for today. This has been
the Starlink report.
Wow, lots of updates. Thanks a lot, Hewie. That's great. Good news.
Okay.
Great, good stuff. Now, Ray, before you can start getting ready. And for those of you over on our streaming service, thank you for coming. We're going to, we'll see you again next week, same time, same place. So we'll be signing off from our streaming service over on YouTube. But Ray, I guess you can get ready.